Hey everyone, and welcome to another Marks & Crafts video. Today I'll be unboxing and reviewing the Grandista Nero Resolution of Soldiers Super Saiyan Gogeta. Now this is a variant off of the Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan or Blue Gogeta that they did some years ago now. And basically the Grandista Nero line is basically specifically set up for variants of previously released kits, well, previously released figures. And for whatever reason the Nero line usually has a much higher price tag. This is part of the reason why I'm not a huge fan of the Grandista line anymore, is because you have the super cheap on one end and the more high end on the other of prices, but usually the same quality. If they both met in the middle and just had a standard price point, there probably wouldn't have been much issue, because you could have easily released these at a higher price than the standard from the get-go, but because they were cheap initially, it kind of sours me on getting new ones. But they are still really good figures, and Gogeta's no exception. One of the problems that I have with this one is that there aren't any alternate pieces for him. Typically the Nero line does come with alternate pieces, swappable parts like the Gotenks that I showed, even though that was just a standard Grandista. It would have been nice to have like a different arm, or a different head sculpt to do a different expression, or just do normal state Gogeta. But anyway, you can see I've now got him out of the box and put together, and he stands very tall. The Gotenks was big anyway, but he's Gotenks, so he's pretty much half the size of anyone else, and it's very hard to fit this Gogeta in frame. But you can see the details are incredible. Let me just get my Blue Gogeta as comparison, and you can see the similarities in the sculpts, like pretty much side on. They're pretty much the exact same figure. The belt blows in a different angle, but the jacket's practically the same. His right arm's pretty much the same. The colouring is different to match which movie that they're from, and you can see that the new Gogeta's left arm is different, and his head is obviously different. But generally pretty much the same figure. The shading in the Grandista Nero is probably a bit better. But yeah, here he is next to the RX-78. Let's see, he dwarfs him. But here he is in better lighting. As you can see, he's so big that he doesn't really fit in my light box that well. But he's again next to Gogeta Blue. I really liked the Gogeta Blue because it almost had like this metallic finish in some of the hair, which made it sort of shine differently under natural light. Sort of gave it a bit more effect. Not to say that the regular Super Saiyan one doesn't look any good, it's just that I like that sort of variance in colour that the original had. Would have, like, I almost see these as like they should have been the same figure with swappable heads, but whatever, this is how it turned out, and they both look really good. It's just that I need to find space for both of them in the collection. Let's get some closer looks at Gogeta. You can see, just looks fantastic. Gogeta's always been one of my favourite characters in Dragon Ball. Weirdly enough, from the original, like not even Dragon Ball Super Broly, so pretty much when he had no personality at all and one attack to his name, I still loved him then. But yeah, after the Broly movie, it's sort of cemented him as the favourite. And I do have a soft spot for Gogeta Super Saiyan 4 from GT as well. Now I'm just going to put the Grandistas together, and so you can see how small Gotenks is compared to the other two. But they're all roughly in scale with each other, even though all the Grandistas aren't in scale in general, if that makes sense. That's one of the problems with prize figures. There's no sort of like set scale for them, so you sort of need to collect a line of figures to make sure that they're all in scale with each other. Otherwise then you're going to have all sorts of weird stuff. But thankfully they've done a lot of Grandistas, so they all fit nicely together. And that's pretty much it. It's just an all-around good figure. It borrows a lot from the previous sculpt, which is expected, but it being a Grandista Nero figure, it is disappointing because of that. Increased price tag for the same sculpt that came out years ago. It's just, it sours me a little bit, but it doesn't take away from the figure being nice. So if you don't have any Gogeta, it's a really nice one. If you do have a Gogeta, it pairs well, but you might be a bit salty like I am. But still generally good. And that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed that video, and I'll see you all next time.